Grandmas are our treasure.
Well, I'm Judy, my name is Judy, and I live in Australia. I originally went there as a small child. My background is Romani, and I learned a lot of things about my traditions from my grandma. And I've been sort of following that tradition spiritually, etc., all of my life. I think that the thing that I want to share with the youth today and with my grandchildren is the need to slow down a little bit, the need to take a breath. I see the youngsters, they are all running around. We've got a lot of young mums and they're trying to have a profession as well as to raise their families, and there's this consumer world out there we're caught in, and it's all about things and not about the heart. And I feel that the heart things get missed out on. I'd like to see, particularly the young women, I'd like to see them to get into their heart space and follow that through their families and through their work, and know when to stop and when to go. For me, it's been a journey of learning to love me, learning to be patient with myself, and learning to be at one with nature, with the spirit, with everything. It's been hard at times for me to do that because a lot of things get in the way and we feel a little selfish taking that time for ourselves, taking that effort with ourselves. But what I've tried to do is walk this path every day. It's not something that you do on the weekend or when there's a spare moment. You say today, you get up, you have a routine which includes keeping in touch with your heart and keeping in touch with yourself, keeping in touch with spirit, and as much as possible keeping in touch with nature. There's only one way to live your life, and that's experientially. And what I've observed with when women get to great grandmother age, quite often that's when people fail to see their value anymore. And the experiences that any average woman has over her lifetime are the greatest blessing that we can bring back to our youngsters that we'll ever have. And to bring younger people, younger women especially, into contact with much older women and to have a sharing and an understanding is just something I see as the most valuable thing for our planet and for peace on our planet. And they're not invisible. In our country, a lot of the older, the great-grandmother types have become invisible. And their wisdom that they've gained from their experience in life is just, it's dying with them. And we need to make sure that we capture that and we bring that and keep that in our society, because it's a really integral part of who everybody is becoming as they grow. I think what I see that we can have a different financial system where we don't have 95% of the people sharing 5% of the wealth. I see that if we can change that system, we remove quite obvious things in the world. Slavery comes to mind when I think about our financial system. We're just slaving to a system that is actually very meaningless. I'd like to see, as part of that change of the financial system, that we don't need to buy arms and literally go out and kill people for things that don't matter. When you have a more equal basis and a balance and a recognition, a dignity for people, respect, all those things, caring and love, there's no need for the way that we do things today. I see that we can change that. It's not for anyone else to change, it's for us to start those changes going. We can't sit back and wait for someone else to do it. It isn't going to happen. And I believe that it's the grandmothers who have the strength. We now have the experiences, we now have the wisdom, we are tempered by an understanding, greater understanding of what's going on in our world, and we can push the changes, and we can push the changes through. We can make it happen. We just have to want to. The attitude of gratitude is something that I just strongly believe in. When I was very, very ill and I was in despair, and it was a situation for a little while of why me and why not someone else, and you know, haven't I always worked hard to be a good person, and why am I inflicted with this, and all those things that go through your mind. I think I heard a little voice that said, you have to make the most of what you've got. That's it. And all my pain just went to a level of tolerance. I began to express gratitude for every single thing that was in my life. And I got out of being poor me. I got to a place eventually where I could be enjoying every day again. Try to find a little ray of sunshine there somewhere. Just try to find it. Be grateful. Embrace the pain. You know, it won't be there forever. One of the best ways to release grief and pain and suffering is to be held by a grandmother. And if you can't be held physically by a grandmother and allow that release to take place, then you need to go into a place where you can imagine that you're being held by a grandmother, and that you can start to release that pain and suffering back into mother. I think that for anyone who is not certain of who they are or what they should be doing with life, if they don't have good role models amongst their own women folk, step out and find them. Step out and find them. They're there, we're everywhere. I don't know of one elder who isn't totally amazed when some younger person asks them for help. And I don't know of any elder who would refuse to give them that help that they wanted. The song that probably comes to my mind as being the most influential in my life and in my spiritual journey is the song Imagine by John Lennon. You know, all things are possible in that song. It just shows what we can be as a human race.
Would you be willing to share that?
Sure, I can share that with you. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky.